This, my friends, is the banana zone. This is when we've had 8 months of consolidation, you've all lost your fucking minds, and then the simple God candle arrives, and suddenly we feel good. Lord Vishnu blesses us with the God candle, and we can all go about our business thinking we're the smartest people in the world. That we should be early to mid-December, hit 100,000, and then have a bit of a correction. That makes sense because a lot of people square their positions, take profits, etc. Particularly now the institutions are there, they do their rebalancing. So then let's say we'd have a 20% pullback from, I don't know, 100,000 back to 80,000. And then you have the base ripping rally as everybody comes in with a fresh P&L beginning of the year. And by kind of first week of January, we just start ripping and it becomes an unbuyable period of the banana zone.
Raoul opens by introducing his banana zone concept, representing a stage in the crypto market where after a long consolidation, prices begin to break out thanks to increased global liquidity. As he explains, this liquidity is the lifeblood of the market's upward momentum. When liquidity breaks out, crypto follows with a strong 87.5% correlation, reinforcing the idea that Bitcoin and other assets often rely heavily on the macroeconomic landscape. Global liquidity, although currently contracting, broke to new highs earlier in the year. Raoul's models at Global Macro Investor predict further expansion. This model, according to Raoul, is essential to understanding Bitcoin's next steps, emphasizing that liquidity-driven assets like crypto perform exceptionally well in summer phases of liquidity seasons. He notes that we are currently in one of these phases where global money supply expansion contributes to asset inflation, making Bitcoin a prime beneficiary.
Please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and the overall digital asset space and drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks and enjoy the video.
It's actually driven by global liquidity. You've all seen this chart before. Every time global liquidity breaks out, it goes through this consolidation pattern. As liquidity tightens, it breaks out, crypto breaks out with it. Now, global liquidity is contracting right now, but it did break out to a new high. It's expected to break out going forwards, and I'll show you that in a second. So we're at the point where crypto does really well, which is the banana zone. Crypto follows global liquidity. Does it really well? It's got an 87.5% correlation. Global liquidity comes in these seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter. Again, I've covered these a lot. We are in summer. If you look at the summer periods of that weird mustard orange, we always have a strong market in liquidity. So that's debasement of currency that makes our number go up. Our number go up is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the benchmark asset. And again, we go further out the risk curve. Late summer and fall is all about the risk curve. We'll come on to that. But if you look at the mustard periods, it's always gone up in summer. In fact, so is the NASDAQ. All risk assets always go up. Election years, same thing. Presidential election cycle, all the same thing. And then in fall, we tend to have a good rally, and then we top out eventually. Twice it's been at the end of the year, once it's been kind of towards the end of the year with that weird double top pattern, which I don't think will be repeated, but everyone has PTSD from. All you fuckers have PTSD. Because once it didn't extend, and everyone's like, oh my God, I need to sell early, I need to sell early. I get it. I will help you with this. You'll see some of the things, the indicators that will help you. I will try and get you to get that right. I didn't get it right either. I bought ETH call options at the high, expecting it to go. I mean, luckily it was only 5% of my portfolio. I get trolled on Twitter endlessly, like, he went max long at ETH at the high. No, I didn't. I bought call options, 5% of my portfolio. Failed miserably. But I'll do my best to help. And again, I can't promise anything. Global M2, another indicator of private sector liquidity. Bitcoin and that, very good. We're having a little correction now. I don't think it comes back to 80,000, but who knows? But either way, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. Even better, the GMI total global liquidity, 10-week lead. It's been spot on, kids. Spot on. Will it always be spot on? No idea. But it tells us that we should be early to mid-December, hit 100,000, and then have a bit of a correction. That makes sense because a lot of people square their positions, take profits, etc. Particularly now the institutions are there, they do their rebalancing. So then let's say we'd have a 20% pullback from I don't know, 100,000 back to 80,000. And then you have the face ripping rally as everybody comes in with a fresh P&L the beginning of the year. And by kind of first week of January, we just start ripping and it becomes unbuyable period of the banana zone. Happened last year, actually. So Bitcoin halving seasons, we're in the pinky one at the bottom. It's now in line with the 2016-17 halving, which is, I think, the most likely outcome, and dragging behind the previous halving because the liquidity was front-end loaded because of the pandemic, and then back-end it got taken out early. This time around, it's more normal. It's very similar to 2016 cycle where liquidity was given by the Chinese and the US didn't add enormous amounts of liquidity. Very similar this time around, trading very similar to that time. Here is that cycle versus today's cycle. And as you can see, Bitcoin seasonality, blah, 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 up. Bananas. Bitcoin last year versus this year, been playing out very similar, bananas. Ethereum now versus the previous periods is following the last cycle in Bitcoin. Now, whether it gets to the target here, 20,000 ETH, who the fuck knows? Doesn't really matter, but directionally, you can see what happens. ETH should accelerate from here. I'm pretty confident that it will. The other thing is back to the macro, because the macro drives everything. The Institute of Supply Managers Survey, the ISM, that's the guide to the business cycle. You know, how much money is your business earning? How much money are you earning? It's all hidden in that thing, and it's still low, which is why a lot of us feel like, oh, the economy's not really working yet. But the forward-looking financial conditions, which is based about rates and the dollar and oil prices, are forward-looking basis, very positive for the business cycle. So we should see a lot of kind of economic activity and feel-good factor within ourselves ahead. So that's very important because it drives altcoin season. We care about altcoin season because that's when you make the big fucking bucks. Altcoin season, here's altcoin's percentage of Bitcoin total market cap. We are likely to, we follow the ISM, it's the ISM I've shown you is going to pick up. Well, what we're going to see is altcoins dominance rising massively and Bitcoin dominance falling, and us being able to make a lot of money in the smaller stuff rather than Bitcoin. Smaller stuff, you know, for me, the bets for me are Solana and Sui, but you all choose your own, whatever that may be. And that's fine. I don't want to argue about what tokens, what here. I'll leave that to you, but don't go out too much out of your ski tips, out of the risk curve. Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, everything else is more speculative. Remember that. Altcoins as a percentage of whether they're outperforming Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. No, not yet. We're just starting. We had the basing pattern. Now we're going to start. Might be a bit more chopping around, but alt season is here. That's Banana Zone signature.
Solana is Raoul's pick within the altcoin space, citing its on-chain activity, application development, and market interest. Although Solana has yet to break its all-time high, he predicts it will soon, particularly as altcoin season accelerates. Solana's chart pattern shows stability with upward momentum, and he argues that its fundamentals remain strong as a platform for decentralized applications. His analysis suggests that Solana could outperform Bitcoin in the back half of the cycle, a trend that could potentially drive significant gains. Raoul is optimistic about Sui, a lesser-known asset he sees as having massive potential. The chart for Sui relative to Solana suggests a major breakout, which Raoul believes could herald a huge rally for Sui in the coming cycle. Although he's a board member for Sui, he urges viewers to exercise caution to me, emphasizing that investments in such speculative assets are inherently risky. While he expresses confidence in Sui's prospects, he underscores the importance of understanding one's own risk tolerance and investment knowledge before venturing into early-stage projects.
Crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and ETH, breaking out. We should see a gigantic acceleration. Look at the acceleration we had back in 2020. It just exploded from 80 to 1,000. So that's 80 billion to $1 trillion. And we will see something more extraordinary this time, I believe. So let's look at a bit of price action, just because you want to know what's happening. Bitcoin, banana zone. Solana, banana. Hasn't broken the all-time high properly yet. It's kind of messing around, but the all-time high is higher. But Banana Centrale. Solana versus Bitcoin. So we showed you the Bitcoin chart. Looks great. Look at the Solana chart. It's been stable, but it's been going up since October 2023 or December 2023. It's been outperforming Bitcoin. It's the bet I've had from that period, and it's been a fucking lucky, great bet. Solana on-chain activity is huge. The applications are being built. It's got everybody's attention. This is a wedge pattern. It will break, and it will wildly outperform Bitcoin in the back half of the cycle, the alt season. So that's the one thing to notice. My other bet, and I haven't talked about this publicly, and I haven't done anything publicly really on Real Vision Pro Macro yet, or even GMI, because I've just noticed this chart pattern. This is SUI against Solana. This is one holy mother of God inverted head and shoulders. If this actually breaks, then we've got a gigantic move in SUI versus Sol. So that tells you if it breaks this, then SUI is the chosen one. You know, that's my hunch. And I'm now thinking, and I'm more of a professional risk taker, move more of my assets into this. I do not urge you all to do that because Raoul talked about it. It's speculative because it's early stage. It hasn't got full adoption. There's a lot of caveats. You'll all go, oh yeah, but they've got lockups. Yes, we all know it's all public. That's known knowns. It has a low free float, so it goes up well in a bull market and goes down a lot in a bear market. But I like it. I like what they're building. I like what's going on. I am biased. I'm on the board. But anyway, I look at that chart. Nothing I can do about that chart. It's me, Raoul shilling. It makes nothing. That chart is that chart. That chart makes me very interested. Doge. This is another one that's in my portfolio. Published in Pro Macro, Real Vision Pro Macro, and Global Macro Investor. It's a fucking killer. Doge, it's like clockwork. Captures the attention like clockwork. And every time this part happens, it goes bananas. So Doge probably has a long way to run. That's in my 10% bucket of speculative stuff. The other one is obviously Lord Fishnu himself from the Smoking Chicken Fish. This chart is the giraffe looking over at a zoo fence. It is one of the most famous technical analysis patterns of all time, because obviously Lord Fishnu made it so. And if that is the case and it breaks the top, this giraffe is going out of the fence and to the fucking moon. Smoking Chicken Fish is a meme I just like. It's funny, it's different, it's not a derivative, it has a church, it is stupid as shit. It's also quite clever. But don't follow me. Just do whatever you want in the meme coin stuff. I'm just showing how ludicrous it can be. But the giraffe looking over a fence pattern, Julian Bittle showed me this deep technical analysis pattern. You can sell the amount of fundamental analysis work that's gone into this analysis, 0. But the chart looks good. And I like the meme.
Raoul also brings in some humor, referencing meme coins and technical chart patterns like the giraffe looking over a fence as a reminder of the playfulness often found in crypto. While he points out the absurdity of some of these meme-based assets, he acknowledges that they have a place in the broader market, capturing attention and occasionally delivering unexpected gains. He advises caution but recognizes the power of narrative and community in driving these projects, noting that even meme assets can sometimes outperform when market liquidity is high. Raoul's insights underscore a fundamental theme: the interplay between global liquidity and crypto's cyclical nature. He highlights the importance of timing in this liquidity-driven market, where assets from Bitcoin to altcoins rise and fall in relation to broader economic cycles. His expert take offers a grounded, albeit colorful approach to navigating this complex landscape, blending macroeconomic analysis with practical tips on positioning for both growth and risk management.
Please like and subscribe my channel.